Is there an elephant in your room? Has it been there for a long time? Or it's just recent? But I'm here again just to remind you that you can sleep even if it's in the room. Maybe that's what I want to do, not really to get rid of the elephant, but you can still sleep. The elephant's not gonna kick you down while you sleep because it never did. So let that elephant be there and you be there too, and see if you can rest. Just let the elephant be. Well, that's what I think, and that's what I've been thinking about. The other thing I've been thinking about is how communication is growing like a religion. Think about it. The need to communicate has increased so much, and the absolute conviction that people have, which disables them from being able to separate the need to communicate versus communicating. And it's not even expression, because it is communication. It is not expression, and expression does not need so much, but at the same time has to mean so much. But communication is that forced need to let out. At least that's what I'm seeing. It's come to me, let me take a good look at you has changed to look at me, take a good look at me, and the absolute circus that has become, and people screaming away at the top of their lungs. It's been a little weird for a long time, or is it the strength of it that makes me feel like it's been a long time? I am starting to see people losing it in their wanting to put themselves out there for the purpose of others to be pleased. And it's not being done the right way, and it's being repeated by everyone. So for one, there are no others to see it and maybe think about it. And maybe everybody's going about doing the same thing. So there's really no way, I guess, to get the reality back to what it is. Because when somebody screams and that person screams because everybody else is screaming, no one's actually listening to the scream. Everyone's screaming. And if there are ones who are waiting to listen, they hear the scream and it's too much. So they have no choice but to scream. So it's all screamers. The listeners are made to scream, and I guess someone hard of hearing would probably go ahead and imagine, oh, everybody's doing it, so I'm going to do it too. It's not like he's trying to listen. So Stop screaming. Stop screaming. And start talking. And to start talking, start thinking. That's a hard process for anybody to follow, so I don't really know. There probably is no comeback. It's going to be the same or a bit worse, but it's just going to be. Now, that's not a downer. That's just what I call the elephant. That elephant just. Okay, yeah, maybe if the elephant makes an elephant like noise, that will disrupt the sleep. But if it's not, sleep. If it's just an elephant in the room, sleep. And if the elephant is screaming, we'll think about that. Then maybe that screaming has to stop. But for most of us, it may not be screaming, it might just be there. We are making it look like to us that the elephant is screaming because we want to get rid of the pain. But maybe not. Just let the elephant be. Know that the elephant doesn't matter and you don't matter, and if you don't matter, the elephant definitely doesn't matter. And in that non-mattering, you can find comfort. Be the fragile, vulnerable little human. And if you cannot love your being of a human, imagine yourself as a bird. You are a bird tonight. You are not human. So do bird things. Fly, eat, sleep, and probably repeat. Well, obviously, there is reproduction, but that's not the point. It's to be free by knowing that it won't matter any more than you want it to matter. You can wake up tomorrow and make it matter. But in the reality, remember to realize that it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. And to embrace it. Don't find any need to spiral into it. That's not a hole, and that's not a vacuum or a black hole. That's freedom. So, you are free. The elephant cannot really do to you anything physically. It exists because you exist and you let it exist. So, sit back and slightly unsubscribe from everything that you are subscribed to and keep receiving updates about. You're free. So, back to what I said about communication. There's no need to communicate, or if we take an effort to communicate only when it matters, everything changes. And this includes we have to relearn communicating with ourselves. Rewiring of communication is the only way to rewire the thinking, because thinking is so dependent on communication, less on maybe casual observation. So it's a computing mechanism being deployed for communication. as opposed to an expression. So the whole thing is in quite a chaotic state, and that's what humans are starting to look like. So the randomest thing happened while I was talking to you about communication and the forced nature of it being dominant. I had a call, I received a call, and I had to communicate. And in that communication, as I completed it, I forgot what I was communicating earlier. I mean, to the exact point I wanted to. So that made me think again. So the need to communicate is changing up our reality. And reality is comprehensible to us because we made it into existence in our communication means, with our communication means, which is language or anything else. So do you have to communicate? Does not communicating create a world that is better? And when I say not communicate, it is to eradicate any form of communication that doesn't serve the human purpose of coexistence. Yeah, but then think about that. If it does, what reality are we living in? If the existence of a reality were communication is just limited to the need of coexistence, everything changes up. Granted, it is a crazy world to imagine for the people of today who are so attuned and conditioned to this reality. But we can imagine, shall we imagine? I think, therefore I am. No. Think about it. Is it? I think, therefore I am. I mean, that's not even the complete thing, but I'm caught in a loop. Yes, what I want to say is I am, and because of that, I think. So, I am, therefore I think, is to me the correct way to go. And don't get me wrong, it is not the importance of I that I'm looking at, but it's the insignificance of I that I'm looking at. So if I said I am, it might be wrong. So let's put it this way: I exist, therefore I think. But here's the funny fact why I kept going in loops. I know I exist because I think. I think because I exist. I think of existence because I exist. Okay, so maybe losing grip of that, so I probably shouldn't spiral on it loosely. I might have to lock onto it at a later point of time. But anyhow, thinking isn't there, or what is thought up is not there beyond our life, because it just cannot exist in this. No way it can exist. Because what is it after all? It is a product of our our body, let's say. Yeah, that's where it becomes clearer. Whatever is this body, whatever it is, the reactions in it, the existence of consciousness is just a reaction, the result of a reaction. What happens? So it's not the immediate reaction, but after a reaction, there's, let's say, chemically, there's a reaction, and it explodes and smoke goes up, and then something else is formed. That formed thing, that is all consciousness is. So there's only I exist, and therefore I think. The only problem with that is, though, that I know I exist, or I process that I exist because I think. That's a perfect loop. And the problem with the loop, or why it loops, is because I think we give one more weightage over the other. Or is it that if I remove I, there's no sentence. I exist, therefore I am. Exist, therefore. Or if I say I think because I exist, or I exist because I think, it just becomes think, exist, think. It's basic. The problem is that it's not two, it's one. That's why that cannot be solved. So thinking and existing is just one. It's not two separate beings. So maybe the whole thing is about I exist. Just about that. I should. No, there's no I exist. It is exist. Exist. So there's no I, there's no am, there's no think, there's no therefore. It's just exist. That's what I thought about that. I miss hearing rain on the windows. And that's the thing, when I say rain on the windows, there's a specific window to each person. It's got to be that window, not any window. And each window, when the rain's on it, there's a peculiar sound. And we want that sound, not just any sound. So, that rain in the window, it's not something we can recollect. But here's a good example of my earliest topic, should I say? Or no, it's not a topic, it's a thought piece. Yeah, the word topic is polluted, so it's got to be a thought piece. They're only a thought piece. Again, towards communication, why do I need to communicate what I'm communicating out? Unless there is an I in it. So it's only existing, and to exist is to have an I. but it doesn't mean it's separate. So there is only existence. Anyway, what have you been thinking about? This is what I have been thinking about. But what are you thinking about? Maybe if you let me know, I will think about that with you, just like this, and we'll see where it takes us. So give me some bit of you to think about. The elephant, or the lack of an elephant, or the lack of you and only elephants. It could be anything. So we can make this a thing. If I'm putting you to sleep, I'm also thinking with you. Or when you sleep, I'll do the thinking for you so you can sleep. Something like that. Let's see how it goes. Let the night take you. Sleep. Dream. And then sleep some more. Take care.